I'm still in. Oh, she couldn't get that.
She
Did
couldn't?
you hear me? She couldn't get it. They won't ship it to Michigan. And then now she figured out that they won't let us into Canada with it. So.
Oh, well, that's probably a good thing. They may not let us into Canada anyway. So.
They're getting pretty strict about that these days.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were.
They charge us a tariff to
Well,
get
yeah,
in.
there's some issues with the whole Trump thing here.
Our first trip into Canada, we had gas shortages when we got back to Michigan. Last time it was $4 a gallon when we went, so it was 6 something up in Canada. So yeah, we'll see what happens this time.
How much is gas, Bruce?
I'm sorry?
How much is gas in Canada right now?
Anywhere from $1.25 to $1.32 per liter.
How much is a liter to a gallon?
1 liter is just a little shorter than a quart, so it's basically 4 liters.
$5. $5 a gallon.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I like riding in the States. We always fill up before we come back over the border.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Last time we were in Canada, it was over 6 a gallon.
Yeah? Yeah.
Well, it was the last trip to Alaska.
I would imagine it might be a little bit more expensive out Alberta, Saskatchewan, BC way.
Yeah. We'll see. Either way, we're going.
Hi, Michelle. We haven't seen you for a while.
I know. Sorry about that.
Well, some of you have to work for a living.
Yeah, some of us do.
Ouch.
So where are you going in Alaska? I could probably find somebody who could look out the window and ask how much it costs for gas in Alaska.
Well, we're going to head toward Fairbanks to begin with. Debbie is going to go with us as far as Fairbanks, and she's going to fly back.
Ah.
And then I think we're going to go south then, go to Denali, go to Seward, and back up, come back down through Stewart Hyder, and then back
Into Washington.
into Washington and back across.
Oh, okay. Well, while we're on the call, I'll send an IM to one of my buddies over there and find out how much gas costs.
Okay.
Doesn't make a difference. You're going anyway, right?
That's true, it doesn't. Whatever it is, we'll pay it.
Just might mean we might have to homestead someplace out west because we didn't budget for that much gas.
All right. So what do you guys want to talk about?
Sure.
Oh, you know what? Why don't you tell them about the bills stuff, the billing?
Well, I'm not sure what Jerry's talking about. I sent out the statements today.
I got mine.
Okay, for those that might be paid ahead, I believe you can go in and check your accounts and it'll tell you if you owe more but Jerry made some comment that things aren't quite right, so we'll have to get together and straighten it out.
Rory, that was me. I logged in to make sure that I was up to date, and it gave me a bill for associate member.
Mine too.
On the 7th, it gave me a bill for regular member, and I paid it. And now I got a bill for associate member. So I just, that was all. So
Interesting. I'll have to go back and look at all that stuff.
Well, the bill should have been the same though.
No.
We're just paying $17 right now.
yeah, but I already paid it on the 7th, and then it gave me another one on the 20th.
Yeah, I just sent them out today. I don't know. Jerry said he's got something goofy, so we'll have to sit down and figure it out. So if you've already paid, don't pay again.
Well, if for what it's worth, I got mine, and it was, correct. It showed me with a 0 balance due.
Okay.
Actually, I got two. One had a 0 balance. This one shows associate member, which I am not, with a balance.
I think it's tied to the associate members because mine was messed up too. So
That must be what Jerry was talking about.
I'm just so confused.
So am I. Jerry's been in there doing things on the computer and changing things around, so I just assumed he had everything right. So I haven't really talked to him about the treasurer stuff in a while. So we'll have to sit down to figure it out. We'll get it straight. Just send me money. I'm good.
There you go.
all right, Keith, what's your drink of the day?
Bloody Mary.
Whoa.
Rob.
Well, I'm still working on my iced tea.
Long Island?
Fine.
Don't tell anybody I'm working and I'm drinking Chardonnay.
Uh-oh.
You're not supposed to be drinking at work.
Don't tell anyone.
Well, I just mowed the lawn, so I get to have Guinness.
Get a Guinness.
Ooh, I'm having one of those later.
You can come mow my lawn and I'll pay you in Guinness.
No. Nope. 90 plus humidity and degree weather is plenty enough for me.
Oh, man, it's sticky hot here.
That's why I'm wet.
It's not that bad here.
For sure.
I was looking at the news. They said it was supposed to be in the hundreds in the Northeast for the July 4th weekend.
Oh,
Oh, I saw that.
we had 106 index yesterday and before.
Ugh.
Not fun. Yeah, but you know.
Bring it on.
Air
Bring
conditioning.
it on. I waited 8 months of winter for this. Bring it on.
We don't have winter.
I was thinking it would be nice to move to South Carolina. Now I don't think I want to.
By August, the dog days of summer are here. You don't want to be here then. You're in air conditioning.
Now, see, it gets to 75 here and we're dying. It's too hot. We're weaning.
Just 75. Wow.
It's a little cool here when it's 75. We need it to be about 80, 85.
At
No,
midnight last night, it was about 85.
Yeah.
Midnight.
It was down to 60 this morning here. It was very nice. Very nice here. And I got up to about 82 today.
We were in the 50s last night.
Road
Good for
trip.
sleeping.
I
It is
got-
good for sleeping, yes.
Wow.
It's only 64 degrees at my house. But the sun's out. Check it out.
There you go.
Yep. Yep, the sun's still out.
And the wind's blowing. Welcome to LaConner.
Kind of overcast.
Huh?
It's overcast here. We're supposed to get thunderstorms early tomorrow morning, like about 1, 2 o'clock, coming across the lake.
We had that Sunday night coming back from Olympia. Pretty good ones. That doesn't normally happen here.
No. We'll get thunderstorms this afternoon.
Yeah, we've had them every day.
Hey, it's 'tis that time of the year.
Yeah.
That's why I have a rain suit on my bike all the time.
Yep.
Harold, where's Charlotte compared to Greenville?
Ooh, from Charleston, Charlotte is about 3.5 hours, and Greenville is about 3.5 hours. The difference is Charlotte is cantering a little bit northeast, and Greenville is northwest. So
Okay.
Charlotte is right above Rock Hill at the top of the state across the border, and Greenville is more over to the left, to the west towards Georgia. Yeah.
Our son and daughter-in-law were down there last week. They're going to adopt a little baby in September
Oh,
from Greenville.
Wow.
very nice. That's where they have the BMW Performance Driving Center in Greer, South Carolina. It's actually situated between Spartanburg and Greenville. Really nice area. Nice facility, too.
Cool.
You had to drive fast and do things that ordinarily you would get a ticket for and be ill. And they teach on-road and off-road motorcycling along with the cars.
Ooh.
It's fun.
Fairbanks, $3.41.
No way.
Per gallon or a liter?
Gotta be a liter.
Well, Fairbanks would be a gallon.
Yeah.
Gallon.
What?
They have
Sorry.
it out of the ground up there, so it's not really surprising.
Wow.
That's not too bad.
Can't get it
Well,
from A to B.
It's only two something here.
Yeah.
$2.80.
$3.41.
$2.89 today.
Fred Myers.
We're at about $3.50, $4 a gallon here. We've got two refineries right next door.
$3.30 in Anchorage and $3.41 in Fairbanks.
That's regular.
Regular, right.
Yeah.
That's the good stuff. That's what we burn.
Oh, the premium?
No.
Premium,
No.
another 10 cents.
Not in my bike.
Check out gasbuddy.com.
Yep.
I sent you a copy of the link on chat, Rory.
Okay.
You type in the city, it'll tell you the fuel price.
All right. We got all the small lettering here.
You guys have had a bit of sun, haven't you? Rory and Judy.
Yeah. We've been out on the boat.
Nice.
I have to get my son in now. I'm not going to have it for the next 5 weeks. I have to tell this. I'll be white as a ghost by the time we come back.
Oh,
She'll be out there sunning herself because we have a wedding 2 weeks after we get back.
wow.
Linda, I have a couple of things I'd like to discuss.
Sure, go for it.
Well, first off, I'm working on a program for Veterans Day. So if you have served in any military anywhere, please send me an email. My email is right up here. That's the first thing. The second thing is Linda and I are working on a URL library of motorcycle web pages. So if you have any favorite web pages that you frequent, please send them to me, send them to her, either one. I would appreciate it. So that's my 2 Rotary things.
You got non-rotary stuff too?
I do. We have a Red Knights fella coming next week.
Right.
2 weeks.
Okay, 2 weeks. Sorry. I want to give you a little explanation about there's a Red Knights, which is the firefighters. Then there is the Blue Knights, which is law enforcement. Harold may be in the Blue Knights. I don't know if he is or not. And then there's the Green Knights. And I'm a member of the Green Knights. And the reason for the Green Knights is that you got these young guys go over to the combat zone. They get combat pay and tax-free for a year, come back home with $30,000 or $40,000. They go out and buy an R1 and kill themselves.
Right.
So they created the Green Knights as it's a military motorcycling club, and it's to mentor the young guys. When I was a young military guy, I had a senior enlisted guy that kind of looked over me and told me what to do and made sure I didn't kill myself. But now they have these clubs where they provide a safer riding environment. Okay. There's a chapter in Charleston. There's a chapter up in Shaw, I think. This October, they're going to have what's called the Knights of the Round Table up in Tennessee. And that's where the Green Knights, Blue Knights, and Red Knights get together and have a competition.
Nice.
So I went to one they had in Charleston a few years ago. It's very interesting. A lot of fun. They have a costume contest, and they have different kind of motorcycle skill tests. And then one of them gets crowned. Last time it was Green Knights. Sometimes it's Red Knights. In this particular case, in I think Tennessee, it's going to be hosted by the Red Knights. So I just thought I'd give you a little background on those riding groups. That's all I know.
That's it? That's it? And you're a Green Knight?
I'm a Green Knight. I'm in the at-large chapter because where I live, there is no chapter. So I'm in kind of the national at-large chapter. Once I retire, I may try and start a chapter in Beaufort. There's 2 Marine Corps bases there, so that might be my hobby. So, anyway, that's my little spiel.
And you're traveling on Veterans Day, right? If I remember right?
Yeah, we're going over to Europe for a month, so.
Nice. So get with Jim, and then we're going to record it. We're going to do a Zoom recording, and then that'll be the program on November 7th.
Right.
He gets to do his program, but he won't be there.
I'll be in a plane somewhere.
Somewhere over the Atlantic.
Right. So I'm sorry to take up all your time, but
Yeah.
I thought I'd mention all that.
Good
Thank
information.
you. I had never heard of the Red, Blue, and Green Knights, so that's good.
Yeah, if you guys come up with any program ideas, or you find somebody, just look at the calendar on the website and then let me know, and I'll get them put on the calendar if you can get them scheduled. And it's the first meeting of the month is I have it written down. I'll never remember it. First meeting of the month is usually a program, and then we have a business meeting, and then all about me, not me, but you guys, and then happy hour. So if you find somebody that would be a good program, pick a date.
Yeah, Jerry and I were talking when we got together last week, or 2 weeks ago, I guess it is now, but I am a MSF certified chief instructor, rider, coach, trainer, and I also teach Evergreen Safety Council 3-wheel training. So I'm going to put together a short program on the difference between 2 wheels and 3 wheels.
Okay, perfect. Let me know when you want to do it, and we'll get it on the calendar.
Right. Well, let me get home first.
Where are you now?
Today I'm in Chippewa, Indiana.
Okay.
On purpose?
Yes. There's a Amish furniture place that makes furniture for RVs, and we're getting a new couch and new recliners.
I've been there.
The Shipshewana I've never been there, but that's a huge flea market type thing, isn't it?
Flea markets on Tuesday and Wednesday. In fact, we're already scheduled to go tomorrow.
Okay.
A lot of junk, but they got a lot of good stuff too.
Yeah. Well, that's what I know. A lot of people that have gone down there just for that, and yeah, they say you can get some good bargains on stuff down there.
You can, but you got to be careful on what you're getting.
Yeah.
So how's that new Goldwing doing?
Pretty good.
No problems?
Well, kind of, maybe.
It doesn't sound the same as our other one. It's got some different noises, and it's like, is it supposed to sound like this? Is it supposed to do this? You know,
It's the new dual clutch transmission, so it's kind of out in the air right now that even the mechanics aren't quite sure what it's supposed to sound like when it's sitting there doing nothing.
Uh-huh.
So I told the guy, I said, we're going to Alaska. If it breaks down, you'll be the first guy I call before I call Honda to let you know that you screwed up.
We also We also got told that the back tire is probably only good with 2 up and with a trailer for 8,000 to 9,000 miles, which means we're probably going to have to get a new back tire before we get home.
Yeah.
So, it's like,
Probably somewhere around Washington, I imagine.
You might want to call ahead.
Well, it's only 4,000 up to, it's 4,000 miles up to Alaska, so we should be making it back into the States, so.
Try to make it back into the States and not get it in Canada. It's a heck of a lot more expensive.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see how it does.
I've told you guys a story about Michael coming back from, I think it was Alaska or Dawson City, something like that, 2 years ago. He broke down in High Level, Alberta, and it was his alternator. And it had just been repaired on his V-Strom 1000. It had just been a recall. So he had it replaced before he left. So when he broke down, he sent back to home for the old part to be shipped up to him. Came up and it didn't help. So he was looking at maybe 6 weeks for delivery of this new alternator for his V-Strom. So what does he do? He can't spend 6 weeks in High Level, Alberta. He's got to be home sometime. Coming to my son's wedding in Moose Jaw. So what does he do? He goes out and he buys a solar panel, a deep cycle battery, and a battery charger. And with the solar panel, he could ride for about 12 hours.
Wow.
So I tell people that I have a friend who does have a solar powered V-Strom
motorcycle.
I was looking to get one of those just for one of those little battery packs to keep it charged up, for a little extra boost on stuff.
Yeah, it did him well. It really did.
Hopefully we will not have an issue. We better not.
Now that you've said it.
I know. I know.
Knock on wood, knock on wood.
It's all part of the adventure.
Yeah, right.
Last time we had to be back to get to work. This time we don't have to be.
Well, we have a wedding 2 weeks or a week and a half after we get back, so we can't wait. We can't lose too much time.
And if anything breaks, it's on Honda's dime, not mine.
Yeah, well.
Are the roads paved all the way now?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
We went 10 years ago. We rode up to Alaska and back, and there was a lot of construction, but most of the roads are no worse than our 2 lanes here in Michigan. Truly, they're not. So.
And they're still selling the books and the videos that show the old, the nasty roads and Pardon?
The Dalton Highway.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
It's horrible.
It's like the the Alaskan Highway itself is actually what they don't tell you is they built a highway probably a half mile to the mile north of that. They built a whole new road, and actually they've got signs where you can go to the old Alaskan Highway and ride it for a few miles if you really want to beat yourself up, and then come back on the new road.
No, they're not bad.
We had maybe 3 spots where there was 1.5 to 2 miles of a dirt road where they were fixing up the frost heave stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, Pardon?
What's the fun in that?
Oh, hey,
It's supposed to be an adventure.
Well, when you're pulling a trailer through construction gravel, it's an adventure.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll give you that.
1.5 miles, that's just a pothole.
I know. There we were buzzing along south of Watson Lake at about 60 miles an hour, and all of a sudden it just dawned on me that, wait, that stuff's wet. Well, it was all clay base, orange clay, red clay, and they chlorided it.
Yeah.
At 60 miles an hour, it's a real pucker factor to try and slow everything down without dumping it.
Right.
So are you camping on the way, or are you staying in?
Not if I can
hotels?
help it.
We're taking our little pup tent and a couple sleeping bags, but I don't plan on sleeping out. I don't do tents anymore.
Bears.
So-
Bears.
Huh? I know.
Bears.
I'm not into that.
Bears.
I know, bears.
Bears.
Yeah.
They'll leave you alone. They don't want anything to do with you.
Bears.
So
Did I say bears? Big bears. Lots of bears.
Big bears.
Big bears.
Now, Rory, I thought there was some talk of the new Goldwing not being able to tow. Did they resolve that problem?
But they tell you not to.
They tell you. Oh, they tell you not to. Okay.
What they told us to do, not to do that with the
other one.
76 too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's their party line is, yeah, you don't tow with it, but according to law, they can't stop you either. And if something breaks, they still have to fix it.
Yeah. I had a girlfriend, one that I just asked about the gas. She has her truck. She left an apple and a juice box from her kids in the back seat, and a bear took the whole back window out to get the apple and the juice box.
No.
And she said it was her own fault. Parked it in her driveway. So, yeah.
No.
Oh,
No, bears. Bears.
bears.
We camped a couple of times on our first trip, 2 nights in Glacier before we went into Canada. And then the only other time we camped was in Denali. They have a campground that's got the platform tents, canvas tents. And we stayed there for a couple of nights.
And you know what the name of that was? The Grizzly Bear Park.
Great.
But, yeah, I'm not into camping anymore. We're throwing it in just in case of an emergency. Jerry's going to have his in case we have an emergency or whatever, but I'm not planning on it.
Well, I've got a couple hotels that we've got GCI discounts at. So if you let me know where you're going, I'd be glad to at least send you. If you just tell them you're with GCI, they probably aren't going to ask, but
okay.
Yeah, you might get a discount. So,
all right. Well, I know we're gonna be in Fairbanks.
Telecom company in the state, so they're
okay.
larger than the state of Alaska. So everybody in Alaska knows who GCI is.
That works.
You know,
we'll let you know. The only one I know for sure is that we'll be in Fairbanks.
There you
They're
go.
probably Seward.
There you go.
I only ask because my wife only camps in places where there's mints on the pillow at night.
That's right. That's called glamping.
Mine.
I have been accused of glamping in my life. I'm fine with camping until it's bedtime. When it's bedtime, I want a real bed and a real pillow.
Yep, that ground's too hard anymore.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. This princess knows when there's a pee under the mattress.
Yes.
So will you pick up hotels on the way, or will you make reservations? How will you do that?
We did it both ways. The first time we went, if we had an idea how far we were going to go, we looked for the biggest, whatever the town was, and then we used the milepost and called ahead if we knew.
The book they have.
Okay, good to know.
So.
Good deal.
And what does that tell you, Rory? What does that book do for you?
Well, that gives you about 7 different ways to get up to Alaska from the States through Canada. Got all the different highways, and then it has like
it's a mile by mile.
Yeah, it's like 1/10 of a mile by 1/10 of a mile. But if you start in Dawson Creek and you're heading towards Watson Lake, it'll give you a countdown. So depending on which end you start at, the thing's graduated in the book, so you can go either direction.
Okay.
It tells you gas stations, hotels, places to eat, the phone numbers and stuff. The only problem is that some of the places don't exist anymore.
It's like there's this little stuff here, and it's got all the information about the area in it, and hotels, emergency services, stores, you name it. But yeah, no, it's a good little book to have. It's got the map in it and how to get there. And we looked at going up to Dawson City from Whitehorse. And then I read the review on how to get there over to Alaska, and I was like, because that's part of the trucking route, and it's also dirt, and it's tar and rock, and they had nothing good to say about the smoothness of it.
Well, a lot of the trucks, are meant for those roads. They're not trucks that you'd see around here.
Yeah, that was the other thing it said was, by the way, give way to the big vehicles that are coming at you.
They don't expect to see you, and they don't.
Yeah.
They're not looking for you at all.
I just picked up a cheap Garmin GPS, and it tells me all the gas stations or rest areas or et cetera now. So yeah.
Yep. So we play it by ear, depending on where we're near and how far we plan on going that day. And there's a couple of places. Watson Lake, you kind of need. There was only one hotel when we went through. Now there's a couple more. But if we hadn't had a reservation in Watson Lake, we would not have stayed in Watson Lake because there was only one hotel.
Right.
So we kind of play it by ear.
So we last time we got to Whitehorse, and so okay, well, we'll go up to Beaver Creek. It's not too far from the border. It's only 180 miles. That's like a 3.5 hour drive tops. Lady said it was, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. She says, I'll see you about 10. I go, come on now, it's only 180 miles. She says, I'll see you about 10, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, when I hit that stretch from, Burwash Landing, heading north from there, I found out why. I passed the semi and found out why he was going slow. Because it was, motocross bike would have been very nice to have.
Well, I think you're lucky that your wife's going to go with you.
I love it.
I think my wife would fly up.
Well, Debbie is going to go for the first 2 weeks, and then she's flying back. She has her parents have their 60th wedding anniversary or something, and she's going to fly back to go to that. So she's going to fly back out of Fairbanks. And then Jerry will finish up with Jerry for the rest of the trip.
Well, it sounds like a great trip.
It should be. It should be a lot of fun. If Jerry and I are still talking, I don't know. It may be the end of our friendship.
Well, last time we tried to send pictures back, post them online, but their high-speed internet is what we call dial-up. And after 2 hours, I only had 2 pictures uploaded. So I was like, okay, well, this isn't happening.
Let me tell you about the time I was in Japan, dialed up, and fell asleep.
Oh.
Yeah, $300.
Oh,
no.
That hurt.
So, has anybody been to Nova Scotia?
Yeah, I have.
I have.
Nova Scotia is beautiful.
Oh, gorgeous.
Worth the ride, huh?
Oh, well worth the ride. Yeah, been there a couple
agree.
times. And to Newfoundland.
Can you tell us about your trip?
Pardon?
Can you tell us about your trip?
Yeah, I did last week. It was, if you jump on the ferry in Sydney, you can go over to Newfoundland. It's about a 6-hour trip, and it's a beautiful ferry ride, whether it's day or nighttime. The people are great. The food is great. I tend to gravitate towards roads less traffic. So, because I've got a dual sport bike. Nova Scotia is great. I don't care where you go, whether you're around the Bay Fundy area or what is it called, New Brunswick?
Brunswick.
You get to the Cabot Trail.
Cabot Trail, yeah.
Yeah, it's just great. I can't think of any detraction. It's clean, hospitable, very affordable, and you've got straight roads, curvy roads, gravel roads, well-paved roads. It depends on what kind of riding you want to do.
What time of year is it best to go?
Well, being a Southern man that I am, I gravitate towards the later in the year. Actually, that's not true. most recently went up there in the end of June, early July. Great weather. No problems at all. None. But of course, I always do weather forecasting before I go anywhere. So, I knew what I was going to face, the lows and the highs, and packed accordingly. Go to Nova Scotia. You'll enjoy it. You'll love it. I don't care what Bruce says.
What did Bruce say? I wasn't here. I missed it. What did Bruce say?
It's not that, it's what you volunteered for.
Okay.
Bruce, didn't you say you've not been to Nova Scotia?
I have not.
See?
I have done Western Canada, from Ontario west. I've done that 3 times, but I've never been east.
Wow. So you've been over to what, Calgary and?
Yes. Did Calgary, did the Calgary Stampede, did Vancouver through the mountains. Not on a bike. This was the proverbial family vacation where we packed the kids up in the van and camped and fought and hoteled, and got some more, and got to the Stampede and visited with some friends who came over from Vancouver, and then went back over the mountains with them. Saw Stanley Park, that sort of thing.
Where's Stanley Park?
Pardon me?
Where's Stanley Park?
In Vancouver.
Okay.
Vancouver is gorgeous.
Did we go through Vancouver? No. No.
Not yet.
No.
You can if you want to.
Right. We could.
You could.
Well, I just love British Columbia.
Oh yeah.
That's gorgeous.
Denali was great. Going out in the Kenai Peninsula and seeing the ice flows and some whales and stuff was cool. But I think Yukon Territory and British Columbia are gorgeous compared to it.
Some people going up to Canada go up via the ferry route, going through British Columbia.
Yeah, the inland passageway.
Yeah. I don't know. I would assume that's a very expensive proposition, but I don't know.
Yeah, I talked to a few people. They loaded their bikes on and they got it off at each stop and rode around and come back. And I was like, okay, but I'm missing a lot of riding time doing that.
Yeah, right.
If you ever have a chance, you should try the Icefield Parkway. It's up north of Banff. It is spectacular.
Oh.
Now, we went up through Banff and Jasper to.
Well, if you went to Jasper, you went up to Icefield Parkway.
Okay, because we spent the night in Jasper.
Yeah, that was like one of the prettiest places I've ever seen.
But I think that was basically when we went through that park there. I guess it's the Rockies.
Park,
it's the Canadian Rockies.
Well, Glacier National Park, they have one in Canada too. So.
Yeah, well, we left the U.S. right outside of Glacier, and then went up and went through the Canadian Rockies into Banff, and then we spent the night in Jasper. That was beautiful. That was just a gorgeous ride.
Yep.
In fact, I really got tired of seeing mountains because we were in the Rockies, into the Canadian Rockies and the Northern Rockies, and it was like it didn't matter where you turned, you were in the mountains. It was beautiful.
And then come to find out, I didn't know they had desert in Canada.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, that was like, whoa, where'd this come from?
Actually, most of the Arctic is designated desert.
Is it really?
Yes.
Huh.
Because it gets a lack of moisture in a year.
Moisture. But we just came down out of a mountain, and it was like, well, this is weird. It was a desert. It was amazing.
There's the Badlands north of Calgary, where the dinosaurs were all found. Drumheller, that area.
Okay.
All quite interesting. The Hoodoos, where the sandstone is all shaped. It looks like a bit of a mushroom. Yeah.
I gotta say, I think we were northwest of Prince George when we ran across the desert stuff.
I'm looking it up as you're speaking it.
So what's the temperature?
Yeah, it's right there.
It was in the low 70s, high 60s most of the time. It was very comfortable riding.
Wow.
A little damp at times, but
Yeah,
when you dress for it, it's not a
We
problem.
actually had quite a bit of rain and a lot of like mist, but it was, I mean, the temperature was fine. It was actually a very nice riding temperature. We had a jacket on and you were very comfortable.
Whoa,
Oh.
sorry.
They caught you with your Chardonnay, didn't they?
So there was that ride up, I guess it was up in North Carolina in May. Is there any other rides being planned right now?
Alaska.
No.
Well, yeah, I know.
I don't know of any.
Not right offhand, I don't know.
Okay, well, I just thought I'd ask.
I'd like to do that Lake Superior ride.
That's nice, but it is all major highway.
Yeah, I know.
We did it with our daughter.
Son-in-law.
We bought a tire in Canada too.
Not for our bike, for theirs.
We get halfway around Lake Superior, and I'm looking at the back tire of his bike. I'm looking at cord. I think I patched it 7 times before we got back to the Sioux.
Wow. Not good.
No.
Yeah, it was probably 40% more than buying a tire in the States.
Right.
So Harold, what's that dual sport bike you got?
It's a R1200 GS, a BMW.
Nice.
So it's pretty not indestructible. It's a solid machine. It'll go just about anywhere I want to go, and then some. She's been good to me.
Well, I'll have to send you the contact for the Roadrunner magazine. They had a Coshocton, Ohio. They had like a cloverleaf trip down there for 4 days around that area, and it was basically geared towards the dual sports.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah.
I don't know if you get Roadrunner magazine or not, but they have this month, or the one that we've got right now, I had 10 of the best, they said 10 of the best, what they call cloverleaf rides. They'll pick a city and they'll go, 4 different days around the thing. And that was one of the ones that they had on there.
Nice.
From Coshocton?
Yes. Yeah, we did one out of Walnut Creek about 6 years ago.
Yeah.
About 6 years ago, we did Jerry and I and Judy and Debbie, we planned to ride out of Walnut Creek, Ohio.
Well,
Nice Amish area.
We did that one, where was that one out of, where we did the 55, the nickel?
Oh, Windy Nine. That was out of Athens, Ohio.
That was a nice ride.
Yeah.
That was, although it rained a lot.
A lot wet? Wetter than cold?
It's only water.
Actually, I did that. I went back the year after.
Yeah, you guys went back, yeah.
That's right. It was so nice. I thoroughly loved it. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
We stopped, and we did the ride, we stopped at a restaurant, just a little hole in the wall. It was the coolest place. And a couple of people, their feet were soaked through their boots and everything. And the lady who owned the restaurant gave them all bread bags to put over their feet. It was a little bit wet that day.
Does anybody have a recommendation for riding boots?
I'm using Tourmasters right now. Tourmaster Air. They're waterproof. Well, they're water resistant, but they're good. They're a good riding boot.
That's what I have is Tourmasters.
Yeah. Where do you go?
I'm using an Army surplus.
I don't think I've ever owned a pair of actual riding boots in my life.
Well, this is the first ones I went to. My previous had been, I used to call them engineer boots.
Right.
Rounded toe. Last set, a friend of mine had a set that he couldn't wear. There were Harley Davidson stamped on them, and I wore those for, I don't know, 8 years, I think. Little waterproof spray, they're good to go.
Yeah.
Are the Tour Masters comfortable to walk in?
Yeah.
I think so.
I have to check that out. Because the ones I have now are falling apart and they don't make them anymore, so.
I have a fused left ankle, and I wear the engineer boots, and they put a zipper on the inside of the left boot so I could get my foot in there without having to bend the ankle because it doesn't have any motion. And those boots have been just wonderful. And then I got a pair of those roll-up overshoes from Gempler's Farm Supply, and they fit easily in my saddlebags, and they're big enough that I can pull them right on over my engineer boots and then put the rain pants over that, and it works out pretty nicely.
Yeah, nice.
Also have a pair of cowboy boots that I wear.
Yeah, Roy does too.
The shifter doesn't screw them up?
No, that pointed toe gets under the shifter a lot easier than the old engineer boot.
Yes.
Yep.
That's just part of life. Your toe's got a line across it. That's just the way it goes.
Well, and the Tour Master has that pad strap across the top too, right where the shifter is, so.
I just refuse to change my shoes and stuff when I get on the motorcycle. I just I want to throw my leg over and go.
Well, it depends. If I'm going on a long trip around here, I just keep the tennis shoes on. But if I'm going on a long trip, I throw the boots on.
Yeah.
If I'm on a road trip, it's big, heavy denim jeans, sometimes the chaps, the boots, the leather vest, leather jacket, the helmet, leather gloves, the whole 9 yards. But if I'm just kind of easing around either Marco Island or I'm in Breckenridge, Colorado now, it'll just be kind of lighter weight stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Does anybody have an Arrow Stitch in this group? Do you
I
like
do.
it? Jim, do you love it?
I do like it. It's a good riding suit. I've gotten away from wearing it. I got some other clothes that I wear, but for a touring suit, it's great. I mean, you keep it with the Scotch Guard. It's water repellent. It'll be good for maybe an hour in the rain, but you need a rain suit to go over it probably if it gets really bad. So, but yeah, it's a good suit. Kind of pricey, but they last a long time.
Yeah, they're pricey. I'm looking for something that I can get, with my tie and my get up into the thing, ride to my wherever I'm working, take it off, and I have everything on underneath it.
When I was on the dark side up in DC, I used to take great pleasure in wearing my Arrow Stitch over my suit, parking the bike, getting out my jacket, and going into a meeting. I used to get a kick out of that. So
yeah,
Tom's being photobombed.
Yeah, Tom.
Who's that?
Who's that? Tom, introduce us.
You got to turn your mic. You got to turn your mic on, Tom.
Grandson Gavin is over my shoulder. He'll be 7 years old tomorrow on the 29th.
Wow,
happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Gavin.
Birthday, Gavin.
And son-in-law and daughter are both here in Breckenridge as well. And it's one of the reasons I'm late getting online. We had a long walk through town and had the little Havanese dog on a leash with us. So we had a beautiful day, beautiful walk.
Nice.
Good weather.
And for those that might be interested, my motorcycle came off the trailer a couple of days ago, and it's now road ready, and I'm going to start hitting Colorado mountain passes, and I'm doing my
Right.
5-in-1 high altitude ride with the Pikes Peak Harley Owners Group, July 13th.
Good.
I'm so glad you said that because I thought you meant it came off the trailer in a bad way. So that's good.
That's what I was thinking.
That's what I was thinking.
Fortunately, it was an intended, little take.
Disembarkment.
Lucia.
I gotta hop on another meeting here in a minute, so I'm gonna take off, guys.
All right.
Bye. Bye. Good seeing
Good
you.
seeing you, Mickey.
See you later.
Good seeing you guys. Bye.
I'll probably be departing as well, as I got to get a grill fired up and start the hamburgers broiling.
Okay, let me ask this while we got some people here. What about waterproof gloves?
I'm sorry?
What about waterproof gloves for riding?
I got it there, but I don't remember what kind they are.
Yeah.
Mine are both from Aerostitch.
I've got a pair of ski gloves, but I have no idea. I've had them for probably 20 years, and I have no idea what make they are.
I have a pair of glove covers from Aerostitch that I like a lot, and then I can just use my regular gloves, and then I cover them with the glove covers.
That's probably
Okay. Well, what's that, Harold?
That's probably the best way. From Aerostitch, that glove that goes over anything you have. That way you don't have to deal with all the issues with liners, and then there's a hole that punctures in it or a little seam that rips and the water seeps in. It can be real cantankerous.
I have a Triumph down in Florida, and it's got the heated hand grips, and that really spoils me. Oh.
Yeah, I have those now too.
I'm sitting in Florida, and I'm pretty sure that your motorcycle with the heated hand grips is in the wrong state.
You could be right, but I have been up to that Tail of the Dragon ride, and we've had some pretty chilly mornings up that direction.
Yeah.
When you get back down here, we'll have to go and have a little ride.
Sounds like a winner, and anytime any of you get to Breckenridge, Colorado, we'll make multiple day trips out of here and cover quite a few scenic passes.
Don't tease me.
Yeah.
Let me know when you're going, Harold.
I'd love to go.
Yeah.
Ugh. Drink lots of water when you get to altitude, especially it will wreak havoc on your head.
Well, it's funny, in all the mountain riding that I've done over the years, I've only been caught in 2 rainstorms. And one of them was so bad, it was up over the top of Trail Ridge Road there above Estes Park, Rocky Mountain National Park. And right at tree line, thunder, lightning, rain, hail, sleet, snow, all hit simultaneously. We could not get into our rain suits fast enough, get up to the top. We had to go to a checkpoint up there to say, yeah, we made it to the top. And then, boy, we boiled back off of that mountain and got down to Idaho Springs and found a restaurant that was warm and had some hot chocolate.
Dry.
All right, you guys.
All right.
Any plans for the 4th?
Yep. Great meeting.
Yeah, burgers and hot dogs.
You having what?
Burgers and hot dogs.
You know what hot dogs are made out of, don't you?
I don't care. It's all American hot dog.
We live in a little community here in Doral, Florida, and everybody is really into 4th of July. And so our plans are, we're just going to have a big neighborhood party.
Yep.
That's fun.
That's where
I think we'll be on the road someplace.
Yeah.
So I have no clue.
Brian being down in Florida, we've got, I think, another member in Florida as well. We need to get a little group together and invite some of those northerners down, and we'll go do that causeway over to Key West. Beautiful, beautiful ride.
Oh, yeah, it's a nice trip.
You're talking about the 7 Mile Bridge, are you?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
I used to do a lot of scuba diving and marathon. Love that area.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
I'll be spending 2 weeks there this coming Thanksgiving, but I'll be in a little RV that I have.
I hope your RV had strong air conditioner. The heat is brutal down there this time of year.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's only 90, but wow, it's almost 100% humidity.
And 200% humidity.
Don't forget the mosquitoes and the no-see-ums. They're vicious. They're not as big as the mosquitoes in Alaska.
No, I know.
But they speak Spanish, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hit some mosquitoes big as a dinner plate in Texas.
Ooh, you sure they were mosquitoes?
Well, I don't know, but they sure blacked out the windshield in a hurry.
Ooh, oh, that's gross.
Well, that's what we should do is for next week, we should come up with our best bug-eaten stories, because I'm sure all of us have a good eaten bug story.
Makes you appreciate wearing a helmet.
Yeah.
That's right.
Face.
We were all young and dumb, though, at one time, weren't we?
Yes.
Well, my son-in-law, who's over my shoulder, and my daughter, who's sitting right here, are both ER doctors, and they have a new ER doctor in their practice, and he was just riding casually, not long distance or on the high-speed freeways, and he got hit broadside by a gal, and he did not have his helmet on, and he is still with us in this world, but I'll bet the next time he gets on a bike, presuming he does, he'll have a helmet.
Wow. Wow.
All right, folks, I'm going to sign off.
All right.
My drink is dry, so I got to get a new one.
Right.
See y'all.
Time for charbroiling.
Rory and Judy.
Okay, next
you.
week, Fiscal Rotary Club.
Okay, have a nice night.
Good night.
You too. Good night.